This video is brought to you by Osmocote, the planter's plant food.
Hey, my name is Jenks Farmer. I own a nursery in South Carolina. You can see pictures of what we grow, food and lilies, at jenksfarmer.com. Around the 1st of April, the South reaches a transition time where spring flowering things like tulips and azaleas are kind of fading, and then summer flowering things like roses haven't really gotten into full swing. So what I do to bridge that gap is to direct sow seeds of cool season annuals. So these are things that love our warm days, but they also like the cool soil that we have. They're going to come up, they're going to look great until about the middle of June, and then they'll fade away. You can do this too. Direct seeding of annuals is cheap, it's easy, and it results in lots of beautiful leaves and beautiful flowers. I'm going to show you how to do direct sowing of seeds in 2 different gardens today. You'll notice in the first one it's rainy and a little bit cold, and rain is a fantastic thing for direct sowing of seeds because it ensures good water contact. Before we go out, I'd like you to learn a word. That word is kind of scientific. That word is imbibition. And imbibition is when seeds start to soak up water and get kind of fat. A crucial step in the germination process. And I have, for an example, this was a big mistake, but this was a bag of barley seeds which I had intended to sow, and I didn't get to them. They got rained on. So you can see that they imbibed water and started to germinate, and now we've got this big old mass of germinating sprouts. These seeds have been soaking overnight. You see how fat they are? Can you see the water coming out of there? They are ready to plant. These are yellow wax beans, and we're planting them in the ornamental garden. It's no reason to separate vegetables from flowers. So we're just in this area that she needs a little summer interest, or a little late season interest. You see all the things around look great, and I'm just going to direct sow those seeds, just popping them right in the ground. You know, you could use fertilizer, a little fertilizer. We'll look at that later, but I happen to have some great compost because we have donkeys here at the farm, so I'm just going to scatter it. Mostly I'm doing that to provide a little bit of nutrition, but also to provide mulch, keep things wet. So in this bed we have these great Stratosphere Daffodils that are really late, end of March flowering. They're really tall, but they're going to fade by say the first week in April. We have to leave their foliage because we want them to be a perennial. We need them to take in that nutrition from the leaves and to build up their strength for next year. But we want something around them that's going to be pretty for the next couple months. So what I'm going to do is seed in nasturtiums. I have the seed soaking from overnight. I'm just going to put them all in these empty areas. That way when the daffodils start to fade, the foliage starts to yellow up, we can we'll have a big mass of green and some red flowers here. So I soaked these nasturtiums overnight, and that's just to help them imbibe a little bit of water so that they'll germinate more easily. So with nasturtiums, they're big seed, they need to go a little bit deep, and I'm just pushing them in just like that. In fact, can you see that they're going about an inch down in there? The thing we're going to do is add in a little bit of Osmocote. Can you read that? A little bit of Osmocote Fertilizer. I'm using 10, 14, 14, 14. And I'm just going to scatter a little bit on top and leave it just like that. The reason we do this Osmocote is that it's slow release, and as those seedlings start to germinate, they're very tender. They're very they're subject to fertilizer burn. So if we did a quick release fertilizer, it may kill the seedlings. This way, a little bit of rain, a little bit of irrigation will kind of soak that nitrogen in slowly, and when the seedlings start to come up, they'll have that extra bit of nutrition. Get him doing that. hope you learned something you can use today about direct sowing, about imbibition of water by seeds. And remember that you can direct sow seeds into containers, into nursery pots, into pots of bulbs, into all kinds of gardens, and you can also do this on a big scale. Thanks, I'm Jenks Farmer.